What do you take in your tea?
Just a little bit of sugar, but, not too much. Struthio Camelus.
What?
Oh, that's the scientific name for an ostrich.
So, what about it?
Oh, I'm just reading this really interesting article about ostriches.
Really? Well, what's it say?
Oh, well, it says here that scientists have made some really huge leaps in learning about ostriches. For example, right here, they don't actually hide their heads in the sand when they're frightened. It's actually the opposite. They're pretty territorial.
I don't buy that. I've always heard that ostriches hide their heads in the sand. Why would everybody think something like that if there's nothing behind it? What magazine is that anyway?
It's National Geographic, okay? And besides, just because maybe one ostrich somewhere, one time, buried its head in the sand and some person saw it, doesn't mean that every ostrich does that. My faith rests with science. And this is a really interesting article. You should read it sometime.
I don't want to read it, and that's ridiculous. You put way too much stock in these scientific articles. You read it, it's all you talked about for 2 or 3 weeks, and then it comes out that there's a problem with the test or the data or something, and it's on to the next new revolution of science. I'm not interested.
But this isn't like that. It even lists 2 examples of experiments that they've done, right here. The first one was in 1996, when some scientists, suspicious of the urban legend, did some tests on zoo ostriches.
Day 1 of ostrich testing. Will the ostrich bury its head in the sand when it is frightened? Temperature? 3 degrees. Wind speed? 72 knots. Dew point temperature? 32. Percent chance of success? 172%.
Test number 1, lion.
Test number 2, ostrich burger.
Test number 3. Bob!
Nerf gun!
Well, his head is kind of in the sand.
It's kind of a stupid test. It doesn't really prove anything.
But it does. I mean, the ostrich was scared, but it did bury its head in the sand. It just fainted. Get it?
That's stupid.
Well,
Did they even have Nerf guns back then?
okay, so, the real progress was made with the second test. Up to that point, all the people thought the ostriches were just cowardly birds that were always quaking with fear and spending their whole lives with their heads in the ground. But this test changed all of that. From what I understand, it started off having nothing to do with ostriches at all. Just a camper who had traveled to Africa for some adventure. He had been out in the wilderness for days, and nothing exciting had happened to him since he got there.
Day 5, 1400 hours. It's freezing here. Africa is the most boring place in the world. As soon as I find my keys, I'm out of here.
You know how it is. They're never where you think you left them, even if you put one of those key racks by the door.
Where are my keys?
Oh yeah, I can never find my keys. I gave up on those key rack things a long time ago.
Yeah, so you understand. Naturally, he was getting pretty frustrated. And he's just about to give up when he looks through a bush and...
Why is it snowing in Africa? Is that normal?
Shh, you're ruining the story. No more silly questions. There, near a grove of tootsie trees, was a huge, lone male ostrich.